if you're constantly looking for affirmation from other people and constantly stopping yourself from making decisions because it will displease certain people, then you will be held back constantly for the rest of your life. And it's gonna suck. You're gonna be miserable and you're gonna lose important people in your life just because you don't know how to make decisions for yourself.
Magkakaroon ka pa rin talaga ng pushback with regards to making big decisions in your life as long as you're sure about it and you've gone through the necessary steps in order for you to make that big decision and you are also accountable to someone, you'll be fine.
Welcome to Adulting with Joyce Pring. Watch the full video of this episode on my channel, www.youtube.com/JoycePringTV. And if you want to level up your adulting game, check out joycepring.com/collections for my digital products and courses.
Bago ang lahat, nice
Ano?
Kunin ang pagkakataon na ito, magpasalamat sa Enchanted Kingdom.
What? Wait lang, hindi pa kami nagre-record.
Para sa ating team building / Christmas party / New Year's party / Thanksgiving party ng ating mga kaibigan at kasama sa trabaho.
Maraming salamat, Enchanted Kingdom, where the magic happens. But seriously though, I had an amazing time. I highly, this is not even because they sponsored an amazing, beautiful, wonderful, extravagant day out for us and our entire team, our VCM family, Adulting with Joyce Pring, Team Juancho, PS Army. Not only because of that, but because legitimately I thought parang baka sila lang yung mag-e-enjoy or parang hindi magiging bonding kasi syempre parang yung iba gusto gawin yung ganito, iba gusto gawin yung ganitong rides. Pero game.
Yeah.
Pag game yung mga kasama mo, tapos sabay-sabay kayong nagkakansyawan na, mag-ride.
Oo nga, maraming natakot sa rides eh. Yun nga yung actually yung para nakakaano doon.
Panoorin natin to. Paki-insert yung clip.
Isa. Ayaw ko nga. Pass.
Wait lang. Tanay. Tayo ata. Diba? Sino ba yung mga
natakot?
natakot?
Talaga ng AI ngayon. Mga ano na i-edit na. Yun yung nakakatawa talaga yung AI. Na nag-e-edit ng mga fake news.
Grabe. Kahit na, alam mo, most of the time, I can get whatever I want if I start quizzing Juancho on how much he loves me. Like, akala ko ba love mo ako? He'll buy me whatever. Buy me food, watch, whatever. Akala ko ba love mo ako? Nung time na yun, tinanong ko siya, sige na, sakay na tayo ng roller coaster. Akala ko ba love mo ako? Girl, nag-walk away lang siya. Tapos hinahawakan ko yung kamay niya. Tapos ganito yung, ginagano ko siya, ginagano niya.
Secure naman ako sa love ko para sa asawa ko. It's just na sinabi ko naman sa kanya yun. At sinabi, ewan ko kung nandun sa video yun. Sige, sasakay ako. Pero may sure ako na may 45 minutes to 1 hour na recovery time ako. Na wala makakapag-usap sa akin at nasa brink ako ng kamatayan.
And I said, it's okay. We're willing to wait. Ayaw niya pa rin. Instead, sabi niya, mag-agila na lang tayo.
Iyon. Tsaka mag-lag jam. Yung lag jam masaya rin niya.
Oo. Panoorin natin to.
Oh my gosh.
Diba? Adventurous.
Si Tarzan. Welcome to another episode of Adulting with Joyce Pring. Hindi pa nag-uumpisa ang episode. Ang dami nang nangyari. Ready ka na ba?
Ready na. Ikaw, ready na. Ready na ba yung friends natin?
Yes, here we go. We have another mailbag question for today. And this is coming from
Ara.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Ara, and I just want to ask, how do we approach the idea of moving out, living independently, or even not wanting kids without sounding selfish? Especially if you're talking about it with your parents or someone who's traditional. Thank you.
Thank you, Ara, for that wonderful question. And yes, here you are, talking to someone who is traditional. And we promise you, we don't think you're selfish. But that's a very good question. How do you approach telling your traditional parents or family members or friends that you do not want to or you do not adhere with those specific traditional values that they may believe in?
Ako, you know what I'll start with? I'll start with the basic foundational step ulit,
Which is?
which is ask God. Ask Him to reveal to you kung ano ba talaga yung gusto mo para sa sarili mo. Because baka at the
Or
heat
what
of,
God wants for you.
absolutely what God wants for you to do. Because probably kasi heat of the moment yan, or 'di ba, or for whatever reason, probably trauma or something. These are the things kasi, or the big steps in life that hindi mo na mababawi.
Yeah.
'Di ba? Etong mga big decisions na to, as small as moving out, 'di ba, kasi syempre kapag when you move out, and then say let's say mag-release ka ng isang lugar or bibili ka ng property, medyo mahirap na bawiin yun. Or if you make the decision that you're going to say, I'm gonna stay single first, medyo mahirap bawiin yung lost time na na-spend mo dun sa decision na yun. So you have to be sure. Yun lang yung unang sasabihin ko. You have to be sure na ito talaga yung gusto mo at ito talaga yung gusto ng Panginoon para sa'yo. At after nun, hindi naman na ano yun eh. Kung yun naman talaga yung, as long as you're not married to somebody that has a different desire in life, I don't think it's selfish.
Yeah, precisely. You know, a good thing to do also, okay, foundational, you ask God and you really ask yourself if this is what you want. You have to ask yourself, why? Why do I want this particular thing? Because I remember before I moved out before, a friend of mine was saying that, and you know, family life was tumultuous at that time. And I wanted to move out of spite for my folks and for my family. And a friend of mine wisely advised me, Joyce, if you're going to move out of your parents' house, if you're going to live independently and really do things on your own, you have to make that decision not out of spite, but because you know that it's the right thing to do for your season in life right now. Because if you leave and umalis ka lang kasi you're running away from the problems, diba? You're running away from the pain, you're running away from the hurt, you're running away from actually facing the difficulty of dealing with the problems with your family, then it's just going to constantly chase after you, even if you already live outside of your parents' house. So, for example, I want to live outside of my parents' house. You are talking to your traditional parents who want to stay with you, who want you to stay with them for as long as you can. You have to ask yourself, the first thing is, why am I moving out? Is it because I don't want to spend time with my parents anymore? Is it because I hate my parents? Is it because we have underlying issues that we cannot address? Is this bad? You know, you have to ask the question, why? And then you have to have that answered first before you move. And don't make decisions out of anger or out of heated emotions lang. Kailangan talagang ma-think out mo yung mga processes na yon. And how do you talk to traditional people about these non-traditional values and desires that you may have? Well, you do it out of love and with respect and with gentleness. And, you know, expect that there will be pushback. And kapag may pushback, allow them and give them the grace and the kindness of that pushback. Because once you discuss these things with traditional people and they go, I don't think that's the right thing to do, or I don't think you should move out, I don't think you should not have children, you know, yun yung madalas na nagiging reaction eh. So, you have to ask yourself, why am I telling this to my folks, or why am I telling this to friends who are traditional and might not agree with me? It's not because I want them to change their thinking about this or to get their approval. Rather, I'm letting them know that this is a decision that I want to make for myself.
Yeah.
But Juancho is so right. in pointing that out. Kasi, for example, can I tell them about having kids and how it started out?
Okay.
So, alam niyo naman na medyo pag girl boss, si Ate Joyce nyo ever since, right? So, when Juancho and I got married, we were already 26. And he immediately wanted to have kids already. Like, immediately, he was like, I want to start trying for kids. I want to have kids already, whatever, whatever. And I was like, okay, I'm not yet ready to have children. Let's wait until I'm 30 because I want to do a lot of things. I want to keep doing TV. I want to keep traveling. You know, I have all these international shows that I'm doing. I'm like, I am at the top of my career. Is it not enough that we're married? Like, let's build wealth. Let's travel. Let's focus on our careers. Blah, blah, blah. Do all of these things. But he was really, he was very gracious. You were very gracious, love. And you were like, okay, I respect you, you know, but I just want you to know that this is something that I want. And I remember Juancho and I, nung 2020, we were 27. Yeah, we had just turned 27 after we had gotten married. And we had our first encounter with someone who had COVID. And nung time na yon, talagang everyone was afraid of COVID because we had no idea how it would affect us. Yeah. And we were shooting for a TV show that we were doing at that time. And we had to isolate. We had to go to a house and isolate and do all of these remarkable measures just to make sure that we were safe and we were alive. And it was during that weekend that God really spoke to my heart and the Holy Spirit urged me to pray about having children. Because I felt like, hold on, imagine you have this amazing career in TV, amazing career everything, but it could just be taken away from you just like that. Like all these amazing, you know, wealth, whatever, career that I have, I didn't care at that moment. Like, okay, aanhin ko tong career na to, aanhin ko tong wealth and travel and all of these glamorous things that I had. Life was simplified at that very moment. And I knew that it wasn't a career, it wasn't wealth, it wasn't glamour, it was no longer all of these other things that mattered. Because all of those things were just things. They were just that. And God was calling me into an even higher purpose, which is motherhood. And my husband wanted that for my family, for our family, you know. And he was trying to lead our family into that. But I was thinking for myself only. So, nung nagpray ako that weekend, immediately after I spoke to Juancho, we had dinner a few days after, you know, when I had clarity and I said to him, I'm ready. I think I'm ready to start trying to have kids already. And it just took that time of prayer and submission. And yun nga, parang reassessing my priorities in life and kind of simplifying things for me to understand na, okay, I thought I wanted all of these things, but hindi pala yun. It was because I was constantly hearing from other people na your career is the most important thing about you. You should travel more. You have so much potential to achieve all of those things. And I'm not saying those things are bad. What I'm trying to say is you have to assess yourself. Do you have this narrative because it's actually what you want? Or do you have this narrative because other people put that in your head, that should be the most important thing? So, I'm not saying that yun yung experience mo, Ara, but I'm trying to solidify the fact na sometimes we get confused about what we want. And it's really important decisions, right? But if you don't want to have children, there's no shame in that. There's really no shame in that. If that's not something that you want for yourself, that is completely understandable. And I will even go as far as saying that it's really not for everybody, because having children would be the most selfless thing that you will do in your life. I'm not saying that people who don't have children are not selfless, but from my personal experience, I have had to forego so much of my wants and my needs to answer and love and sacrifice and nurture my children. And that's true even for people who have spiritual kids, adopted kids, diba? Who go for those kinds of callings because you're called to something deeper than just your own wants and your needs. So if there's something else that you can do that is purposeful, that you feel like God can use you best at, that's not in having children, building a family, or all these other traditional things that we're talking about, then go on and do that. But make sure that you pray about it first and seriously think about the repercussions and the consequences and the long-term outcome of the decisions that you may be making right now. Dami ko sinabi, sorry. Passionate
That was
ako.
beautiful. Yes. Hindi, ako rin, syempre, since we're speaking about, big decisions in our lives, meron din akong anecdote sa buhay natin that yung nangyari sa buhay natin. Hindi niya naging example yon, but it's still a big decision that we made that na naka-encounter tayo ng pushback.
Yeah.
Ako mismo. Nung mag-hydrate ka muna.
He's gonna spill some tea.
Hindi, di ba, naalala mo, no, I don't know kung alam na ng general
Public.
of people who do follow us. We
Wah,
got
feeling dong
engaged.
yan.
we got engaged after 8 months of being together.
7 months of dating.
7 months of dating. And then got married after 2.
After 2 months
2
of being engaged.
2 months of being engaged. So, number 1,
Ay, oo nga, 8 months.
Hindi, 7
8
months.
August 2.
Yeah, pero January, February, March. Oo nga, sabi ko nga.
8 months.
8 months.
So, syempre, being the first one to even think about being or getting engaged during that time sa family ko. So, 26 years old, ngayon, batang-bata pa para ma-engage or ipakasal, di ba? And tayo, we immediately made that, well, hindi immediately, but we made that decision because
Lalo na in showbiz. Like, 26 is young in the current culture, but in showbiz, that's like...
yeah. So anyway, hindi na ako magda-dive in deeper dun. All I'm saying is when I asked my mom, or when we had to ask for the blessings of our parents during that time. Syempre, she said na bakit ano nangyari? Ganun. Bakit yung ginagawa to? Syempre may career pa kayo, and syempre magbabago yun kapag X, Y, and Z. And kami kasi ni Joyce, even before we started the relationship, that's what we wanted na kaagad. We looked at the grand scheme of things na parang, if we're going to go into this relationship, this is what we hindi na kami mag-play around. We wanted to get married already. Nandun kami sa stage na yun. So, nung tinanong ko yung even si, di ba, our management during that time.
Yeah.
They also said na nagkaroon tayo ng pushback. Pero we were sure that we prayed about it, we fasted about it, we consulted with people who are watching out for us spiritually as well, in order for us to make that decision. All I'm saying is, to conclude my point, is that, yun nga, again, just to add to what you were saying, magkakaroon ka pa rin talaga ng pushback with regards to making big decisions in your life. And as long as you're sure about it, and you've gone through the necessary steps in order for you to make that big of a decision, and you are also accountable to someone, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
That's how I end my points.
You'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. But to your point, it doesn't matter how much pushback you get. Yun nga, if you know that you've taken the right steps and you're not making a decision just out of spite or emotions or just like a spontaneity, but this is a decision that you've actually thought about, that you've prayed about, that you've asked counsel for, no matter how many people tell you, hindi dapat yan. You have to trust na God has given you the go signal na. Kung meron na, diba? Kung meron ng go signal. Kasi kami naman, we went through counseling. We went through the entire thing before we made that decision. So, yeah, and look where we are now. I mean, obviously, our careers and our lives don't look like the way that other people must have pictured it 4 or 5 years. 5 years ago this year. Imagine 5 years ago this year. But I'm so grateful that it's even better. It's so much better than I could have ever imagined. Would you say the same?
And it's your life kasi.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, yung generally, yung mga nagsasabi sa ng mga advice, hindi naman sila yung makakasama mo araw-araw hanggang sa, di ba, hanggang sa pagtulog mo. So make decisions for yourself and for yung kung anong tingin mo ikabubuti mo.
Actually, I wanted to say that also. One of the most important skills that you must hone as an adult is making important decisions for yourself. And making those important decisions for yourself with integrity, with much wisdom, with much consideration, diba? And having that, what's the word? Having that courage to make decisions for yourself. Kasi if you're constantly looking for affirmation from other people and constantly stopping yourself from making decisions because it will displease certain people, then you will be held back constantly for the rest of your life, and it's gonna suck. You're gonna be coddled, you're gonna be miserable, and you're gonna lose important people in your life just because you don't know how to make decisions for yourself. That's all I'm going to say about that. No, all that to say that there will be moments in your life where you have to make hard decisions for yourself. And as long as you've prayed about it, thought about it well, thought about the long-term consequences of your decisions, it doesn't matter if your traditional parents don't approve of it. I'm not saying that with disrespect. Of course, with respectfulness, with gentleness, with kindness, with grace, and with dutiful obedience to your parents, you have to consider all of these things. But as long as you've thought things through, then it's okay to make decisions that will ruffle some feathers.
Yeah.
Because that's what adulthood is. It's you flying. It's whatever it is, diba? You want to move out of your parents' house, just make sure di ka babalik after 2 weeks kasi wala ka na makain, diba?
Get out of your nest.
Yeah, you want to.
Fly.
Yeah, you don't want to have children. Fine, you don't want to have children. That's something that you have to decide for yourself. But make sure that you actually thought about it, and it's not just because you're thinking about what other people are saying about your life, rather than you thinking about your life. Why am I so passionate about this particular topic? Ask me next
Mainit-init
time.
pa kasi. Bakit hindi mainit-init pa kasi? Wala akong sinasabi.
Oo, basta.
Basta mainit.
May mga pinagdadaanan kasi kami recently that is related to this.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, that's it. Meron ka pa bang
Wala na.
gustong i-share?
Wala na.
May message ka ba?
Wala.
Okay. That's it for this episode of Adulting with Joyce Pring. Ara, maraming salamat for that wonderful question. I hope that whatever decision you make and whoever you talk to, you will do it with much integrity, with much courage, much thoughtfulness in all of the decisions that you'll be making. God bless you. And to anybody who would want to send in their questions, they can email at
hello@joyspring.com.
your questions. Send in a video if you like. Send them a voice note. It can be anonymous. You can put in your name, whatever it is. We hope to see you there.
Bye, guys.
Salam!
That's it for this episode of Adulting with Joyce Pring. If you liked this podcast, please don't forget to use the hashtag Adulting with Joyce Pring and also check out www.joycepring.com for the show notes and tag me on social media with you know it at Joyce Pring. I'll talk to you guys again soon. Paalam!